Hi, I'm Paul Vunak, and welcome to Kino Mutai. Kino Mutai is a lost art. The literal translation means the art of pinching and biting. Now, when you think of biting, the first thing that might come to your mind is, well, anyone can bite. Well, that's true, anyone can bite, but anyone cannot bite effectively. There is an entire art predicated on biting, finding over 140 positions on the body that you can bite someone uninterrupted. And that is the art, knowing when to bite, where to bite, how to bite. That is Kino Mutai. So let's roll up our sleeves, get out the mats, and we'll get started. Now, our very first few bites, we're going to place ourselves on the bottom. This is the worst position we can be in a fight, obviously. I want you to keep in mind that the purpose for biting, the main purpose, is to be able to get back to your feet. So you can either escape or continue engaging the fight from your feet. So we're going to start off cross-side. I'm going to be on the bottom. Jeff's going to come in and I'm going to work the few positions. Okay, Jeff, come on in. Okay, the very first cross-side position is going to have Jeff's arm under my arm, legs stretched out. He's got a good base here. If you notice, I keep my left hand under the armpit. I do not want my arm out exposed here unless I'm doing a neck bite, which I'm going to show you later. So we put the arm here. I want it down as low as I can, pointing up. My right elbow is going to be on the hip, so I've got the adjustment here. From this position, no matter how tight of a base he has on me, when I do my upa, I'm going to use my heels to pull, almost like a leg curl, and I'm going to scoot my body this way. I'll do it one time without biting just to show you the motion. Okay, that is the action. I'm trying to bite his nipple. Okay, so I start from this position here. This time I'm going to implement the bite. Jeff will give a similar response as he would if he were actually getting bitten, and then I'm going to show you how I would kick him off and come to my feet. So from the top, we're here, I'm nice and tight, and then I can engage back into a fight or run if I want. Now our next position is going to be a bite on the neck. This is obviously a more serious bite. You can gauge whether you want to go down to the nipple or come up and bite on the neck. The position is pretty much the same. He's going to be cross-side with his hand under. Okay, Robert, come on in. Okay, so Robert, again, is cross-side. This hand is under. Now, normally, I would have this hand here. If this hand is here, it is better to pop up, slide down, and do the first bite we did. I like my hand here because it protects the hand better, and you can slide to the rear if you have to. You can come to the rear and pop out this way if you just want to try to escape, depending on how good his base is. In this particular scenario, your hand is going to be here. Everything is not perfect in a fight, so you're kind of stuck with this hand dangling out here. Grab this hand here, figure four, Robert. Dangerous position to be in. So as soon as I find my hand is here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the bite on his neck. Now, most people do not understand the concept of putting their shoulder in the chin. So therefore, give me a nice tight base here. Therefore, you just simply grab the figure four and you have the neck bite. If this person does understand the concept of putting the shoulder onto the chin and he's putting the pressure down, this prevents me from doing that. Now, when I am in that position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my body and I'm going to askew it about 15 degrees this way. So what you're going to watch me do is using this elbow, I'm going to turn my body away from the shoulder to get to the neck. Now, Robert, I want you to put the shoulder down as tight as you can on my chin. Okay. And I turn on a bite. Okay. So again, the motion I'm making, again please, Robert, is I push here to give myself a little space. I take this hand and put the neck this way, and I turn my body. Then I grab here, and I have my bite. Now, Robert, this time, you're going to give me the actual reaction that somebody would give, and again, I'm going to do the same kickoff with the shoulder on the chin. Okay, Robert, down. And again, I can escape or I can re-engage the fight. The difference between this bite And the last bite was, this bite is on the neck, the last bite was on the nipple. You need to learn to injure to degree. The other difference was your arm was dangling out on this bite, the last bite the arm was tucked. Okay, let's work them both. Now in our next position, we're going to have the cross side again. This time the elbow is going to be over the neck instead of under. You have to understand when people go cross side, depending on the idiosyncrasy of the art, each person has a different cross side. If you're a judo, if you're a jiu-jitsu, if your goal is to pin the person, if your goal is to attack the arm, everybody's got a different slant on the cross-side position. Okay, Eric, come on down. Okay, the first position we worked, the arm was under, and this arm was over here. On this position, this is under the arm, this is here. I did a little upa, and I went right to the nipple bite. The second position found this arm dangling out here. Okay, so I grabbed the neck, I slid, and I went to the neck bite. Now on this particular cross side, this arm is going to be over. Now when this arm is over, this arm, his right arm is guarding me from putting him in the guard. If this arm wasn't there, pull that arm out. Okay, that's when I can slide under and put him back in the guard. So that's why most people will put this arm here. That frees this arm up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab and I'm going to bite the lat. Again, this elbow is here. So as soon as I find myself in this position, I reach up, I grab my own arm, my knee is going to raise to prevent him from mounting me. Not that most people mount you when they're getting bitten, but just in case, and I latch on for the bite. Okay, so try it from there again and jump back in, and the other way, go, arm over, and that's the bite. Now this time, Eric is going to give me the reaction that somebody would give. He's going to pop up. Again, biting gives you space. The better the jiu-jitsu man is, the tighter he is. The worse the jiu-jitsu man, the more space he gives you. When you bite somebody, you turn a black belt into a white belt because you allow them to create space. So this time I'm going to bite Eric. He's going to create the space I need, and I'm going to kick off again. And that gives me the space that I need. This time he had his elbow over, so I went to the lat bite as opposed to the neck or the nipple. Now in this next position, it'll be cross-side again. This time my arm is pinned. Actually, both arms are going to be pinned underneath my opponent. When the opponent tackles you to the ground, goes cross-side, takes the top position, your arms are not always in the most conducive position. In this particular case, again, my arms are going to be pinned, and that's going to create a different kind of bite. It's going to be the groin bite. Okay, James, come on in. Okay, so ideally, I would want this arm under the armpit and this elbow here. But in this particular case, this arm is going to be pinned here, and I'm stuck in this position. Now, could I bite here? Yes. Would it be an uninterrupted bite? No. If I bite here, just come up and start pummeling my face with your fist. That is most likely what would happen, because I do not have an arm free. Do it again. That is an uninterrupted bite. So therefore, I would never bite unless it's uninterrupted. So go back down, please. So now we have this hand, both hands are pinned, okay? My right elbow is going to bend out. My left arm is going to push this direction. My right foot is going to spin so I can turn my whole body clockwise about 40 degrees. Then I pull this arm out so it is uninterrupted, and I have my groin bite. Now, in this position, I can guarantee you anyone that gets their groin bit is going to all do the same response. They're going to pike. It's a visceral response. Whether you actually get the groin or not, anybody that starts gnawing down there, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pike. You're going to create space, and that's really all we want. So, this time we're going to go through the whole thing. The arm is pinned. I spin down. I bite. I then kick up. And I have my space, again, to escape or go back to my opponent and fight. So this time, the arms were pinned. We had to turn clockwise and go for the groin bite. Now we're going to work the cross-side position. This time, I'm going to be on top, and I'll be doing the biting. Okay, Jeff, come on in. Now, when you're in the cross-side position, there are various types of cross-side, depending on what your goal is. For a tournament, a lot of people like to have both hands out here so they can work on attacking this arm or work on their arm lock from here, spinning around and, again, attacking the arm. For our needs, biting, this arm is going to be around the neck, so my shoulder can come down on his chin. Now, most of the time, when you see somebody with this arm secured on the hip, they're doing that for the reason of not allowing their opponent to put them in the guard. So if I'm sprawled like this, try to put me in the guard, he can't put me in the guard because of this hand. The minute I move this hand to here, he can do his upa and put me back into the guard, which I don't want. So what we're going to do in lieu of putting this hand here is we're going to put this knee here. As the knee is here, this leg is going to be out, this arm will be under the neck, and I'm going to be applying pressure here. If I bring this leg, my left leg, in, if he's a strong guy, he can get his arm underneath me and possibly upa me that way. Go ahead. And we're going to have the bite anyway, but still I'd rather be on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this knee adjacent to this hip, this leg out, away from the action, this arm under nice and deep, this arm on the chin. Now I'm going to be just ever so gently applying pressure down in this direction. Now, Jeff, I want you to come up and bite me. Okay, try to get up. Okay, so this is my base. It's a very good position for a base. Now, Jeff, I want you to prevent me from biting you. Okay, very good. So as you see, in that particular position, when I'm coming down, as long as I have my shoulder on Jeff's chin, I'm preventing Jeff from counter-biting me. My knee is preventing Jeff from putting me in the guard, and I'm putting on the bite. Once you put on the bite, the guy's going to usually freak out. You can then mount, go to your guns, or you can disengage and run, or stand your feet and continue the fight. Now our next bite is going to be from the mount. This is one of the most vicious bites you can ever do to somebody. Okay, Robert, come on in. Now when I'm mounted on Robert, basically there are two types of mounts. There is a mount in which my head is up. That means I'm up as high as I can be and I can fire the guns, I'm doing the punches. Or there is a mount, I'm not talking tournament now, I'm talking street fight. Or there is a mount in which I'm down low. I'm going to be engaging in the low mount for purposes of this tape for Kino Mutai. If I do the low mount, I need my feet to hook around his feet. Now, when my feet are hooked around his feet, that is my base. Now, what I'll do to show you that is I'll take my hands and put them here. Now, upa me. He's trying to get me off him, but every time he upas me one way or the other, my legs lock me in, so I have a perfect base. This gives me impunity to do what I want with my hands. In this case, I'm going to be biting. So I grab up under, grab my own bicep. The art of Kino Mutai is also eye gouging. You've got the thumb in the eye, you can be digging the eye, or you can be biting the face. Now, the beautiful thing about this is if you are biting somebody 250 pounds, even though you do have your hooks in, they might have a tremendous upa, a tremendous back strength where they just arch and they roll you over. If this were to happen, this would automatically put me in the guard. I want you to notice what's going to happen to the bite when I'm in the guard. And basically, nothing. I'll still be biting him. So if I'm here, upa me, I still have the bite. So by the time he actually gets me off him from the top mount, I'm biting, I'm biting, I'm biting. He upas me, I'm still biting, I'm still biting, I'm still biting. And he comes up, the guy's got no face left. Okay, so this is your upa. As soon as he upas you, you continue your bite from the guard position. Let's give it a try. Now, most of Kino Mutai is done on the ground. On a few occasions, you will do it standing up. In this particular case, Eric is going to get me in a headlock, and I'm going to show you where Kino Mutai fits in. Okay, Eric, come on in. Now, Eric's got my head. He's got my head in a fight. Some people hold it and squeeze. Other people will actually try to punch you with this other hand. Okay, boom, they're hitting here. I insert this hand in to stop it. Boom, I hit the going ones. Bite there, and then boom, I come up and I headbutt. And that's how we get out of that situation. The bite ensures that he's going to release. get a quick headbutt in, re-engage him if he's still on his feet, otherwise go home and call it a day. Now we're going to switch gears, and I'm going to implement another training method from Kali, and that's called Sombrada. Basically what you've seen so far, I wanted to intro the tape showing you the fundamentals, giving you a little infrastructure of what Kino Mutai is all about. And these are the facts that it's uninterrupted biting, uninterrupted eye gouging, meaning that you're grabbing your own hand. It takes the opponent a few seconds to get up. By that time you've created enough space, you can kick them off and come to your feet. Now that we understand that basic premise, we're going to go through a flow pattern. This is the next progression in your training. A flow pattern, or the word Sombrada, simply means that you're not doing one technique and you're done, but you're continuing a flow. By continuing this flow, your attribute development is reaching a much higher level. So we're now working on attributes. So first we do single techniques, then we go through a flow pattern, and then we're going to show you how we spar this. Okay, James, come on in. Now, Sombrada is initially, like I said, a Filipino colleague. It's a stick drill. Okay, he would hit me. As he hits me, I do a block. But we don't stop here. Freeze there, James. I don't just stop there and hit while he's sitting there with his stick locked out, but I hit him back, and that's what creates the flow. That's what Sombrada means. So as he hits me, I hit him. He hits me, and we're flowing. So if you understand Sombrada, you'll see this flow pattern, and once you've got that pattern developed, that gets the attributes out. Okay, now we're going to do basically the same thing on the ground. Okay, James. Now, James is cross-eyed. I'm going to go through the flow pattern. My elbow is where it should be. It's adjacent on the hip. This arm is where it should be, under the armpit, being protected from the arm lock. I'm going to do my upa. I'm going to slide down and bite the nipple. Instead of kicking James off, for the purpose of the flow pattern, I'm going to slide my hips and put him in the guard and re-attack the face with a Kino Mutai bite from the guard. So we'll get that far. So I'm here, bite, slide my hip around, and I bite here. Now, when you re-grab the neck and you start biting, 99 out of 100 people will do the same thing. They stand up. But the problem is when they stand up, this part of their body is low and their rear end is high. This disrupts their base, giving them a susceptibility to a sweep. So as I'm biting here, he stands, I put this here, roll back around, and continue the bite. And that's the flow. Okay, let's try that once again from the top, James. Just walk through it. Okay, we try it again. Got the elbow in place, got the arm in place, do my upa, bite, slide around, put him in the guard, kick up, and go back to my attack. Okay? So, what I'd like you to do is walk through that. This is a whole pattern. It's going to involve about 15 moves. Obviously, you're not going to do these moves in order in a fight. This is to develop the flow, to develop the attributes. Now we're going to continue our flow pattern. I'm mounted on Robert. I'm biting his face. Okay? In a Sombrada pattern, that means that both people get to attack. It's not just one attacker and one attackee. So both people are going to get to bite. Both people are going to get to do the moves on each other. Okay, Robert, you're over here. I mounted on you, and I am performing the bite. Now, as I'm biting Robert, he's going to upa me. When he upas me, in essence, that is going to put Robert in my guard. Now, then Robert will turn into the biter. He's going to bite my chest, stand up, punch the groin, get a headbutt in, and pass the guard, and go directly to his bite from cross-side. We'll take it one step at a time. So I'm biting Robert, and boom, he upas, and bah, he's biting me now. He holds the arm so I can't punch him, headbutts, bam, stands up, boom, breaks the guard, comes back down, puts a few shots in, and he's biting me. Okay, let's take that from the top, Robert, one more time. We'll walk through it super slow, and then we'll go one normal speed, okay? 1/4 speed. I am gouging and biting. Robert upas. He is then turning head down and biting me, blocks the arms, gets a headbutt in, boom, stands up, breaks the guard, comes around, goes to his guns, comes down for the cross side, and begins his bite. Okay, normal speed, and go. Good. Okay, now when we put all these together, we're starting to develop a flow. The whole idea of this is once you do this flow over and over again, when you go to sparring, you find these openings. It helps your timing, it develops the attributes. Now we're going to pick up where we left off. Robert had passed the guard, went cross-eyed, and was biting. Now I'm going to bring Eric in. He's going to take it from that position, from the biting position. I am going to counter the bite. We're going to go through 3 Kino Mutai moves. Okay, Eric, come on in. Now Eric has a shoulder down on the chin, and he is biting. Now from this position, there is very little that I can do. There's really only one counter, and that is for me to bring this arm up and around and push straight up in the air. When I do this, Eric, go to the next move. He's then going to go onto the lat. Now, the last counter I possibly have from here, if I'm extremely strong, is I'm going to push him down this way, and now I'm back into the fire, and he's biting the groin, and then I pike, as 99 out of 100 men would, and I'm right into the guns facing the punches. So, again, from the top, he's doing the bite, I counter, push him, push down, I pike, boom, and I'm taking the blows. Very important at this point that we understand that this is a Sombrata pattern. You'll be the biter, you will be the bitee. It's going to flow back and forth. This is why we never want our students to wrestle hard. It doesn't really matter how fast you go. It's not a battle of attrition, because when you're biting, everything is academic. If you tap to an arm lock, but you bit the person prior to the arm lock, he possibly would have never locked your arm. So it's important that you go through this entire pattern slowly, look for your bites, make it a sensitivity drill. Later you can always speed it up. Now continuing our flow pattern, we had Eric in a half mount punching. Now we're going to bring Jeff in, take it up from that point. Jeff's going to be punching. When Jeff punches, you're going to notice that he is not punching hand, right, left. He's going to just keep the same hand punching. What this will do is create the energy for the opponent to spin. If you keep hitting him back and forth, he's not going to spin. We want him to turn his back. I will be the person turning my back. The minute my back is turned, Jeff's going to put the arm around. He's going to swing me around and go. Most people at this point would go for the choke. This is a Kino Mutai tape. We're going to go for the bite. He's going to pull around. He's going to start healing my groin. Hook the arm, have the arm around the neck, and he's going to be biting my neck. So you're going to see Jeff go from the half mount, punching me, inserting, spinning me over, attacking the groin, and going directly for the neck bite. Okay, Jeff, come on in. And here's where we left off, and go. Boom, boom, boom. This is where I would spin, choke, pulls around, boom, boom, boom on the groin, and break. Good. Okay. So as you see, we're always keeping the action going. We're never giving the opponent a moment to breathe. If you keep the offense going, the best defense is a good offense. And the best way to apply consistent offense is biting, because there are more bites in a given moment of time than there are anything else. It might take 2 or 3 or 4 or 15 or 20 seconds for an arm lock or a leg lock or a choke. Bites happen every second. There are 140 bites on the body. So you can be perpetually attacking the opponent, keeping him off his game, getting him into the self-preservation mode. Okay, let's go with this one more time. We're going to go through it ultra slow, and then we're going to go normal speed. Okay? Jeff, ultra slow. And you watch Jeff attacking with the same hand. Boom, boom, boom. This is going to get me to spin. Inserting. He then oopas me. Notice the left hand, so I cannot counter. He is automatically attacking the groin. This hand will go down to protect the groin, and he's biting the neck. Okay, break. One more time, Jeff. Normal speed, please. And go. Break. Good. Okay. Again, take it from the top. Work your way through. 3 moves at a time. Keep it nice and slow. Remember, energy drill. Now for our final segment, we're going to be defending against the choke. So we just had Jeff in. He pulled me over, put the hook in, pounded the groin, and went for the bite or the choke. Now we're going to have James come in, and I'm going to show you the defense against the choke. Okay, James, come on in. Now, first of all, when I am in this position, to get out of this, I need the arm to go down at about 7 o'clock. That breaks this. If I were to simply bite and open my mouth as big as I can, he would be pushing in on my mouth and I would be the person in pain. Once you get your mouth too large, you cannot apply any pressure. So what I need to do, let's go back to here please, is I first release this and I then pull to where I just have enough room here that I can bite. I turn on my incisor and I start to nibble and tear. Now when this happens, most of the time somebody's going to pull away and you will not have done enough damage. So as I start to nibble, go ahead, he's just going to pull away and re-choke me. So I need to address that problem. So we go back to here, I bring this around, I get to here to nibble, I bring this up. Now I'm holding on. As I'm nibbling as long as I can until I've done enough damage, and then I let go. I'm going to spin to this position. As I spin, I'm going to make a technical error, and this arm is going to be under, and I will end up in the triangle position. From the triangle position, immediately you get your base and your posture. I'm going to turn, bite the leg, come down, and now I'm right back to the starting point of our Sombrata pattern. Okay, let's walk through this again slowly. James has me here. I unhook, grab, bite, spin, get my arm trapped, immediately come up, bite, that releases the hooks here, apply the pressure down, come back down, and begin my bite, and we're right back to the beginning. So what I'd like you to do is take this from the very top, go through each motion until you make a full circle and you wind up back cross-side. Now we're going to put it all together. We're going to go through the entire Sombrata flow pattern. Remember, this is Sombrata Kino Mutai, meaning both sides are going to get to go. We're going to start with James on top, cross-side on me, and when we're done, I will end up cross-side on him, and we're going to have both sides go. Okay, James, come on in. First, I'll narrate it slowly, then we'll speed it up a little bit. Okay, first position, James is on top, I get my upa, come underneath, I bite the stomach. Create a little space, come around, guard the neck and bite. I'm biting here, James comes to his feet, I come to here, upa James around, and I continue the bite. I'm biting here, James upas me, and now James counter bites. Holding the bicep, boom, headbutts, comes up, boom, passes the guard, and he's punching. Now James comes down, he starts the bite. My one and only counter, pressing up, he counters that, I'm biting in, push down this way, he's got the going bite, I pike. James comes up, boom, 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 creates the spin. Starts to choke, he rolls me over. He starts to hit the going. I counter here, I go for the bite. Gives enough space to come around, I accidentally get stuck in the triangle. I come up with my posture, grab the leg, come around, and now we're right back where we started. Now James begins the bite. He does his upa. He creates space, and James is in the guard. From the guard, he's biting me. From this bite, I come up, and James upas me. Now he's on top. I'm coming around, I upa, counter up, boom, headbutt, bam. Come up to here, I pass the guard, I come to here, boom, I'm firing my shots. I come down, I start to bite. He pushes up, I come and bite. He pushes down, I go and bite. He pikes, come up to here, I'm hitting, come back around, go for the choke. James Upas, spins. Now I'm looking for the heel hook. He bites my arm, creates a spin, enables me to triangle him. He comes up, bites my leg, and we are right back where we started. This is the complete pattern. I'd like you to repeat that. Go through it slowly, gradually pick up your speed. Now I'd like to pause just for a moment and reiterate to you the difference between self-perfection and self-preservation. Self-perfection is a training drill. It would be hubad or sumbrata. It could be a jab drill. It could be doing the flow pattern on the ground that you just saw. This is a self-perfection drill. Self-preservation is what we actually do in the street fight. In order to know what it feels like to tear into flesh, we have to get out of the laboratory and into the street. You obviously don't want to go around biting people. So what we do is we practice with meat. We actually strap a piece of meat on somebody and learn the technique of tearing. Again, I have to reiterate to you, this is not something that you go around doing. We, in our art, practice knife fighting, we practice stick fighting, we practice biting, eye gouging. This is not a sport. This is only what you do to protect your family. When we're training Jiu-Jitsu, the last thing we do is think about biting, okay? But if you're out stuck in the back of some 7-Eleven at 2 in the morning, you have a 300-pound guy holding you down, and someone's grabbing your wife and kids, and the only way for you to get up is to bite, you're going to do whatever it takes. So that's what this is all about. This is about self-preservation. When you think about gouging somebody with your thumb in their eyeball, or stabbing somebody with a knife, or bludgeoning them with a stick, these are not pleasant things. But sometimes it's not a pleasant world out there, and we have to know how to defend ourselves. And if we're going to do it, we have to learn to do it all the way. So this is why Dan and Asano has always explained to me to break the art down into two phases. This particular phase is self-preservation. So this is how we train it, okay? We strap the meat on somebody, we tie it. You can pick any part of the body. In this particular case, we pick the lat. We've got the meat tied to the lat, okay? We'll throw a t-shirt on over the meat, because most of the time somebody will have a shirt on. You can also practice this directly on the meat without a shirt. Either way, okay? Now I'd like you just to take a look at what the bite will do so you have an idea. Okay, so let's assume one of the positions. Why don't you take the arm over, Robert? Okay, and get you up here. And go. Okay, good. Now, the damage, let's just take a look, okay, Robert? Let's just lift this up here. And, all right, this is somebody's side. This would be sufficient damage to create space for you to either escape or go back and engage the fight. If you choose to come to your feet and you're fighting a grappler and you choose to engage again, this person's going to think twice before they want to take you back down to the ground. So that's the whole idea of the Kino Mutai. But remember, this is for self-preservation only. This is not what we do for training. This is just to save your family. And if you question whether or not you should do this in terms of ethics, is there anything that you wouldn't do to save your children? Now in this last take, we're going to show you how to take somebody to the ground. When you see the grappler trying to take the stand-up fighter to the ground, 90% of the time you see them going for a double leg takedown. They go for a single direct attack. They just come charging in and dive at the legs. And this is why they have difficulty. If the stand-up fighter knows he's going to do that, a lot of times they'll sprawl. Sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it takes a long time to get somebody to the ground. Conversely, if you attack the high line first, this is called a progressive indirect attack. So you get the opponent backing up with forward pressure by attacking the high line, and then you just shoot straight to the ground, and your takedown becomes exponentially easier. Now, I can't think of a reason why I would ever want to go from my feet to the ground in a street fight, but if I did, this is how I'd do it. James, come on in. Now, if you hit rewind, you'll see what I did. Basically, I was occupying the center line. I was coming in with a straight blast. It's called a progressive indirect attack. We're cheating, just like when we go into the ground. When you saw me on the ground and James had me in the guard, I bit him. As soon as he released, that gave me the opportunity for headbutt, pound the groin, and pass the guard. When I went in for my straight blast, that created forward pressure. James was going backwards. That enabled me to go for the double leg takedown. So if you look for ways to circumvent the art and cheat, you'll always have a better chance. Well, I hope you enjoyed Kino Mutai. Now you're armed with one of the most powerful tools to level the playing field. This is truly the equalizer for ground fighting. So, good luck and God bless.